Instagram, hello group, come, because we go live twice a week on Facebook. And also our podcast as well. So if you haven't got the podcast, definitely have a little look at that. It's on Spotify. It's called Hangry and Hormonal. And that's where you can catch all the episodes. So guys, hi on Facebook. Hello. When you get in here, drop a comment saying hello. Let us know who's watching. And we're going to talk about how to break through a plateau without cutting calories. Yep, that's what we're going to talk about.
That's what we're talking about.
Correct. Alrighty. So, hey Teresa, how's it going? First off, yesterday or the day before, we released our reverse dieting guide. So the complete guide to reverse dieting. If you want to take a look at that, let us know. Drop us a message saying the word reverse, and we can shoot that over to you. And I've just written some emails for the next few days, and they're very excited. You haven't seen them, but they're really excited.
I trust you.
Hey Jenny, no, well, it's not Jenny, is it? It's Rebecca. Hey Rebecca.
Hey Jenny Taylor.
Hey Jodie. Hey Jenna. Hey. Okay, so today, obviously, it's Wednesday, so it's a short one, but we're going to try and make this as succinct as possible. It's a really important topic, and it's something that I often talk about with our clients, but we also we were in a Zoom the other day with a global researcher, an international, a global, world-renowned fat loss researcher. That's literally his job. That's all he does is So what he does day in, day out is research fat loss across different populations. So we watched that, and it's kind of sparked my imagination that we should cover this as a topic too. Try to move this so you can. There we are. Pretty little face in there. So what is a plateau, first of all? I think it's something, I want you guys actually in the comments, put in what you would say. What would you define as a plateau? Let us know in the comments, and then we'll read some out, and Cam and I will come up with a definition between us as well. So typically what people say is a plateau is not being able to lose weight, right? That's like
I haven't lost weight for a day. It's not working.
Yeah, I was perfect yesterday. My weight didn't shift. We will wait until we've got a couple of comments in here.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Don't lose weight for a few weeks or months. Who says this? Let us know. Weight not going up or down more than a week of the same weight. That was Jenna. So I think Jodie or Teresa must have been the first one. Staying at the same weight for more than 3 weeks. Alrighty. Teresa's first comment. Okay, Teresa says, don't lose weight for a few weeks or month. Okay, so I would tend to kind of agree with this vibe. Someone else says, I normally lose weight once a month. It's interesting. So what I would kind of define it as the weekly average does not change for over 3 weeks. What do you say? Same. So it's not just the daily average or the daily average, the daily weight is staying the same. It's the average, okay? Because there's almost a pound difference between 140.0 and 140.9. Okay, so that's almost a pound difference. So that is the definition. So guys, this is what you need to do. If you think you're in a plateau, the first thing you need to do is stay doing exactly the same day in, day out for a minimum of 3 weeks and compare the 3-week average. So how do you work out an average? If you weigh every day, which we highly recommend, so 7 days a week you're weighing, you add up the 7 weights, you divide them by 7, that gives you your average. So days 1 to 7, you'll have a 7-day average. Day 8 to 14, you'll have another average. And then 15 to 21, is that right? Yeah, you'll have another average. Okay, so you'll have 3 averages. And if they are exactly the same, you're in a plateau. Okay, so that is the thing. And I think the part of the problem here is that people don't want to wait that long. They're just like, I want to do it now. Well, I'm not losing weight for 2 days, so I'm in a plateau. I'm not going to eat as much. So they eat less and less and
I
less.
think that's why people end up on zero, and we all know why, because we just want it quicker. But
Yeah.
if it's not happening that quick, it's probably usually for like a few certain reasons, which we're going to talk about. But a lot of people here, like everyone has said, weeks and months and 3 weeks. So we'll come back to these. Have you waited that long when you've lost weight? When you've lost weight and you've not gone, right, I say I'm going out for a 5K run every day now.
Yeah.
Right, I say I'm going to up my steps by like 23,000.
Or they do the opposite. They say, well, this isn't working. I'm going to binge all the shit in the world.
Yeah. Like it's never like in the middle where we're just going to like, I'm going to carry this on. It's either, right, I'm either going to go even further into the hole and just drive myself into the ground harder by eating like 500 calories less. Because apparently if I eat 500 calories less every day, I'll burn a pound of fat.
Yeah.
I wish it was that straightforward. Or they do the opposite. It's not worked. I think the most typical thing we hear is, I hit my calories, I hit my steps,
did my exercises,
I slept well, and I didn't lose weight today. Like, one, that's happened for one day. What's been happening the rest of the week? And two, like we said quite a lot, you could 100% be in a calorie deficit and 100% be losing weight, but the scale weight might not change for up to 1 to 2 weeks. Like, that is totally normal. Obviously, within 4, 5, 6 weeks, if you're losing fat, the scales will go down.
Yeah.
But it's not like instant.
Yeah.
I think that's just the biggest thing.
It's not, you're good for one day or good. I mean, bang on with everything for one day, and the next day you wait for that. It doesn't work like that. It's not as linear as that. And I did forget to say who the researcher was, because I do want to give him props for this. So it was Bill Campbell, PhD, Dr. Bill Campbell.
Not related.
But yeah, we saw him recently at the conference, didn't we? We saw him in Florida, and we were on his Zoom call night before last as well. So it's very, very good. So he said something similar. He said 3 weeks as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
He said 3 weeks as well. So let's say that you've done everything perfectly, bang on. You've been 100% grade A student. Tick, tick, tick. You haven't missed anything. You haven't binged. You haven't faltered. You haven't had shit sleep. You haven't eaten less or done loads of running or anything. You've been spot on. My biggest fan in there. Spot on for 3 weeks, and it has stayed the same. Okay, what's the first thing that we recommend to clients? Because they're like, should I drop my calories? Fake I haven't lost weight for 3 weeks. So should I drop my calories? What would you say? First thing is that we give as feedback generally.
Are you eating what you say you're eating?
Yeah,
and then we get a lie detector test out.
Are you fucking liar?
We get a lie detector test out. So that's what we put them on that. We've got an online lie detector test.
It gives them an electric shock every single time they lie.
Yeah, that's it. No, so the main thing is that a lot of the research also suggests that there's been not recent, I think it's like 2021, come out, and it says,
recent.
Yeah, and it says that a lot of people will, what's that saying? So most people overestimate the amount of calories that they burn. Like, it's not as much as they think because of their Apple Watches or the machines, and they really underestimate the amount they eat. So that just quote is really, really important on why people don't lose weight, on what they think, because they think this is a perfect calorie deficit, whereas it's just not that easy to sometimes say it in a straightforward way. So we ask the first question. We have a little checklist we put people through. So because of that quote and because of that study that suggests people can
be delusional,
underestimate their calorie up to about 1,000 calories. So this study, can't remember, had at least 20 people. And they all said they're on a weight loss plateau before they come into this study. And then they tracked absolutely everything. They did everything professionally, went all the way through the process. And then they found out they were under tracking by 1,000 calories per day on average per person. Not everyone was that bad, but on average, they were eating 1,000 calories more. So they all said, I'm eating 1,000 to 1,200. But all of these people were found out, when done properly, they were eating about 2,000. So that's the biggest thing to go through first. So this is not including medical conditions and medication.
Yeah.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But the most closest way when people say I'm not losing weight is because they're either really overestimating calories out and what they burn.
Yeah, which is also, I must say, which is also why we don't track that. Why, if our clients have got Fitbits or wherever, they're like, or Garmin watches or Apple watches, they're like, my watch said I burned 300 calories in my workout. Like, I do not give a shit. Detach that, deactivate it from MyFitnessPal, because they're wrong. We don't want to ever take that advice on board, okay? We just don't want to. Ignore it. It's a bonus, but that's not the point of exercise. So that's the first thing. We disregard what electronics are telling us we've burnt, because it's lies, essentially. Go on.
So essentially the first thing we can do is check the accuracy of your tracking. Like, that's the first thing to do in your plateau. Is it a genuine plateau where we're eating what we think we're eating, and we're measuring accurately? Like, you're not, like, another mistake could be, I always measure my body weight in the afternoon, like after drinking breakfast. Like, that's another obvious one. So that's in check. The next thing is to check your calorie accuracy. So there's different ways to do this.
I think when people track, I think it's really important that people track. You do not have to track to lose weight, but it is way, way, way more accurate, and you will get better results if you do track. But I think after a while, and I am very guilty of this, like, I've been tracking day in, day out since January, February time. And I am, it's November. I am at fatigue. Like, I've had enough now, because I'm not just tracking, but I've been aiming to hit specific numbers on my macros every single day. So that gets really hard. So I kind of go like, oh, well, that's roughly 100 grams. That's roughly 30 mil. That's roughly and this is kind of what we do when we are off season, when we're not like working towards a photo shoot or something. We won't track, but we'll guesstimate. And then if our weight creeps up, or if it goes down too much, or if it, whatever our kind of goal is, if it goes not that way, we will then track again to make sure that we are, back in reality. And we're like, yeah, this chocolate probably is more like 100 grams, not the 20 that I've been tracking, or, meant to be tracking. Our heart rate monitors, more accurate for calorie burn. They are more accurate, but still not accurate, because I've gotten to.
I think there's a difference between, like, heart rate monitors on a watch. So, like, the levels of what has been most accurate is you've got the machine where you hold on to it.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be the least accurate. And the second accurate-ish would be your wrist watch. But again, it's even been shown to, like, the color of your skin can, like, change, like, how sensitive and how well it actually reads your heart rate and how wrist it is. Like, Faye has had one before, and I think she's going to, like, a doctor's appointment. He tested her, and she was looking at a watch, and it's like 30, 40 beats out.
Yeah.
And that is big. The best heart rate monitor would be a chest strap, but even then that can move that up and down.
Yeah.
So it's just to keep it so simple, unless you're going to wear a chest strap all the time.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what calories you burn through workouts. It doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter. That shouldn't influence anything. The amount of calories that you burn, you don't know for sure, and so it shouldn't be influencing anything anyway. Like, we don't count our output calories, and we haven't maybe ever. I think I used to when I was, like, first learning, and I was like, well, if I burn 500 calories, it means I can eat 500 calories more, or if I burn 500, I can eat 200 more, and I can eat 300 less, so I'll be in deficit. It's pointless. Don't do it. It's pointless.
It's hard.
Yeah. More accurately, and let me just side note here, it also creates a bad relationship with exercise, because you're like, I'm punishing myself, or I have to do this, I have to burn this amount of calories. And exercise shouldn't be for burning calories. It should be for building strength. It should be for staying mobile. It should be for building stress resilience as well, not how many calories can I burn through exercise.
You do that through nutrition.
Yeah, to an extent, and other things. Oh, there's Bill. Look, he's just like my message on Instagram.
Such a fan girl. Such a fan girl.
Just popped up. Bill Campbell.
She doesn't care if I message her. She'll be like that. Swipe.
Bill Campbell liked your message. Thanks, Bill. Tag him in this later. So where were we? Okay, yeah. So what should you do? Let's get back on track, because we haven't got long. We haven't got long today. So the first thing is, make sure you're getting back on track with tracking. Ironically, make sure that you are weighing things correctly accurately, not guesstimating. Like some of the worst things we see is when people put like large breast. Large breast, medium breast, you know, for one person.
Chicken breast, right?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. One breast might be small, but for someone else that might be large. Maybe you've got breast envy, like wherever that kind of deal is going on there. You're looking confused, but the girls all know exactly what I'm talking about with boob envy, breast envy. Yeah. So you need to make sure that you're not doing that, because I could say, let's get this down to basics. A man might say that, let's say, a sausage is big. This is a large sausage. And then us girls were like, that's a piccolo, what's it called? Well, those little chipolata. It's a chipolata.
Wiener.
Yeah. So, you know, from your perspective, someone else's perspective, that would be different. So you need to make sure that you're tracking accurately, because you might be saying this is a small one and then tracking it as small at 200 calories, but actually it's a large and there's 600 calories. So there's 400 calories discrepancy there. So make sure you're weighing. The next thing is weighing food cooked or raw. And this was a discussion on his Zoom the other day. I still think that he was not bothered either way, really, as long as you're consistent, which makes sense. But we would recommend weighing your meat raw, because when you cook it, it dehydrates, so it gets lighter. And we would recommend weighing pasta and rice cooked, because when you cook it, it gains water and gets heavier. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're eating what we say that we are eating. So meat raw, pasta and rice cooked. I think that's everything else raw. Everything else raw, basically. Unless, here we go. Here's the unless it is cooked chicken, which has already been cooked, like deli meat that you're scanning, and then you're going to weigh 100 grams or wherever, and then you do that cooked, because you never weighed it raw in the first place. Does that make sense? You track what you scan, essentially. I think that's the best way to do it. Unless it comes to pasta and rice. So let's move away from this minefield. Things like coffees and teas. How many do you have a day? Do you have sugar? Do you have milk? Do you have creamer? Do you have half and half? If you have like a Starbucks, what about the syrup? How many of those do you have a day? Are you tracking those? Rebecca says, I always weigh my rice raw. Well, start weighing it cooked. See how much you should actually be eating. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. So yeah, teas, coffees, and track how much like milk and all that kind of stuff you use in that. Next.
Biggest one is the SSS. Is this making you gain weight? So that is sauces and spreads.
Okay.
Just remember that. So sauces and spreads are the ones that you could, like, if you're eyeballing it, it's so easy to be off. Like, you just can't eyeball spreads and sauces.
Yeah.
Like, you'll always see those pictures on the internet where one has like Nutella on one bit of toast and Nutella on the other. They look exactly the same. One's got like 5 spreads and they've pushed it into the bread, and it's got like 400 calories. One's got like 90 calories because they've done one little spread over. So that's where it really adds up. And again, this isn't more of a day. It's more of like going over like in a week. This could be like 500 calories, 600 calories in a week. And that's probably even up to 1,000 calories, to be honest, depending on how many meals you use them in.
Yeah. So, and on that, just to say as well, based on what we just spoke about, if you have a teaspoon of Nutella, a heaped teaspoon will be different to a measured, like a flat teaspoon. So it's better to weigh in grams, right? Would you agree with that? Right. Let's go. Okay. Yeah. So correct. So we've got sauces, milks in coffees and teas, sugars, all that kind of stuff. Weighing it raw or cooked, and then tracking accurately. So another thing then would be other kind of sauces would be like cooking sauces. Yeah, like coconut oil, like they're all healthy, but they still add up.
And I think the thing to realize sometimes is it's only 50 here, it's only 50 there, it's only 60 here or 50 there. So that's 100 calories in one day.
But compounds.
That makes it 1,000 calories in a week. So when we've asked someone to eat 12,000 calories for a week, which you can do, you can say, this is my weekly total, I'll split it up.
It's not much though.
No, that's just an example. Now I'm eating 13 and a half. So that can slow your weight loss down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then like juices. I heard the other day that
liquid calories.
Yeah. I heard that juices is like orange juice is like the worst thing you can drink. That's what I heard the other day. Everything is like the worst thing you could drink, though, isn't it? But
there's a video on Instagram for absolutely everything. Just don't go on social media unless it's on our page.
Yeah, we'll tell you the truth. But yeah, like if you are having any liquids, are you tracking them? So I would go to a point of tracking even like Coke Zero and stuff, because not for the calories, but if you drink, if you're not calorie counting and you're kind of guesstimating and you are drinking diet sodas, there was a study that put people in a macro controlled macro controlled environment, and they said you can eat as much of this foods as you want, and then it was basically some people had diet sodas and some people had water, and the people who had diet sodas ate more because of that need, that like sugar need for more food. So even tracking that could be really helpful to kind of see how you feel about eating more or less throughout the day. But otherwise, things like juices, alcohol is a massive one, especially when it comes to like cocktails. If you have mocktails, that's really high as well. Full fat milk, all of those kinds of things, right? And I think, should we leave it there?
I think those are like
part two.
Yeah, those are like the main hitters of a checklist and your like plateau.
Yeah.
So where would you check first? I would check there first.
Yeah, I think they're the main ones, and we will do a part two maybe next week, maybe next Wednesday. We'll talk about the rest of them, and then we'll pull a list together and we'll create it for them to download, and they can have a tick list. Is that?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that. All right, guys. Well, we are about to head into our private Facebook group with our clients. We have got a podcast where this is going to be uploaded to. It's called Hungry and Hormonal. Hungry and Hormonal. We'll scrape that part out. We've got a podcast. It's called Hungry and Hormonal, which will be uploaded to my brain. Downloaded from my brain, put into Spotify for you guys. That's where it's going to be. And also, we do have some really fun emails. I say fun. It's not fun for me because I'm basically pouring my heart out to you guys on emails over the next few days. So if you want to be on that list with some free stuff as well coming, let me know. Drop us a message, same word, email, and we will send you that. We don't spam you. We just tend to give a lot of free stuff, a lot of information, and personal experiences. If any of you missed my chat from Monday, a lot of people, I had like a ton of comments. I really appreciate that, actually. I had lots of comments on there. I had lots of private messages come through saying like that podcast or that episode really helped people to understand how I'm feeling, and that the way that they feel is okay, and sometimes they need to be held back and whatever, feel frustrated. So stop that. So I just see him doing shit in the thing, in the camera. So if you want to have more like personal stuff from myself and Cam, then the email list is probably the best place to be as well. So drop us a message with the word email and we will get you set up on that. Free stuff coming, first releases of some exciting things that are coming up will be in the email list first, and then we will be putting in the private group, guys. So if you guys in the group do not want to miss out, definitely make sure you're on that list. There's it. We're going to go into our client group now and have a chat, have a catch up. If you need anything, give us a shout and we'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.